What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Gen 5 week on Littleroot Laddering. So this week we are playing through all 6 episodes. This week are going to be Reshiram, Zekrom, and then I believe we're going to do 1-1 on the Curum forms. I don't know. We haven't figured that part out yet, but we know there's going to be Curum forms at the end of the week, and until then we have Reshiram and potentially Zekrom too. So jumping in today, we have Assault Vest Reshiram, pairing that with Life Orb, Moltres, Nasty Plot, so we can pair that with Amoongus, who has Rage Powder, so we can get a real big boost real quickly with Moltres. Magnet Eliki as a potential Dynamax target here as well. Rillaboom just to put on a ton of pressure on our opponents. And then we have Trick, Lagging Tail, Grimmsnarl, something that's pretty decent and something I haven't played with for quite a while, so I'm interested to see how this one goes. This was sent in by CJL, and he said that it pulled him into Master Ball, I believe. Yep, went 8-0 and pulled into Master Ball with it. So I'm excited to see just what we can do with it. There's a lot of this seems like a super aggressive Reshiram team, and I'm excited to get in and actually play with it. So let's jump on over to game number 1, shall we? So as we are getting paired in, question of the day: who is your favorite Gen 5 Pokemon? Gen 5 is one that is not acclaimed to have the best designs, and I understand there are some not great ones. You know, the ones that always come up are Vanillux and Garbodor, but I'm interested in hearing what you all have to say down in the notes, down in the comments section. So first up here we have Torn Ogre, pairing that with, of course, Kartana, Eliki. This is pretty standard for a Torn Ogre team. Nothing overly surprising here. I think being able to Grimmsnarl, put on a Lagging Tail on their Grimmsnarl on their Kyogre seems really important here. We can pair that with Rillaboom to prevent them from. We can fake out on turn 1, put on a ton of pressure on their Kyogre early. Reshiram comes in and cleans up against the Kartana that I have a feeling is going to be coming. And I honestly really like Eliki. Eliki can max and prevent the Amoongus from putting us to sleep. I think this is fine. I think I like our Eliki here. Yeah, let's do it. Let's bring it. See what our opponent does here. So let's see what our opponent is doing here. We are just going to see Tornadus plus Kyogre as a lead here. Putting on a ton of pressure on that Kyogre early. And we're just going to immediately Lagging Tail that and fake out into the Tornadus. So let's just do that. We'll trick here. We'll fake out here. And then next turn we can go for a double up into. We can go for like Spirit Break, or yeah, we can go for like Spirit Break into the Tornadus and go for a Grassy Glide into the Kyogre. I think it's important to get the Lagging Tail on the Kyogre so that even if they do get Tailwind up, it's still going to be the slowest thing on the field. I'm going to withdraw the Kyogre. Well, that's unfortunate. I'm going to bring in Ensign. Well, that's really unfortunate. But actually, no, this is actually fine. Because now, Trick is not going to go off. And we're still going to prevent them from getting Tailwind up. Okay. So now we can set up a Reflect. And we can U-turn off of the Incineroar to get out of here. So let's see what we do. Let's see. We could see a fake out from our opponent. I'm gonna go into the Grimmsnarl. That's completely fine. Hurricane into the Rillaboom. That is gonna be enough for a KO. Was not actually expecting that to pick up the KO there, but I think that's fine. Because now do we want to bring in Reshiram? What kind of pressure are we putting on if we bring in Reshiram versus Eliki here? Eliki can just fire off huge electro webs here. Yeah, I think I like Eliki. I don't think we want to max. I do think we want to get a Reflect up. And I think we want to fire off an Electro Whip here. If they bring in their own Eliki, then we're winning the speed race. If they bring in Kyogre, it's going to take a really big hit. If they stay in, then like both of these take pretty good damage here as well. We could see the Tailwind go up this turn. I really wasn't expecting the Hurricane there to one-shot. We do see the Tailwind go up. That's completely fine. We get our Reflect up. Eliki is definitely still faster than Ensign. I believe that was a miss on the Tornadus. Okay. I'm just going to Parting Shot into the Eliki. That's completely fine. We can Volt Switch off of the Tornadus this turn. Wonder if they bring in Kyogre here. Yeah, they are going to bring in Kyogre. And so they know we have a Trick. I wonder if they Dynamax here. Like, we could go for Fake Tears plus Volt Switch. We could also Trick plus Protect. I think I like Trick plus Protect this turn. Well, they're keeping Kyogre in. Well, Taunt does not work against Dark types, unfortunately, opponent. So, you now have a slow Kyogre. This Water Spout is going to do a lot. But not enough, thanks to us taking away their Mystic Water here. So I'm going to Fake Tears. Now we're going to Spirit Break here. And we'll go for a Volt Switch off of the Tornadus. I have a feeling they're going to switch Kyogre out now. Nope, just going to fire off an Icy Wind. Okay. That is going to pick up the KO on the Tornadus, so that's fine. So now we're going to bring out Reshiram against a -1 slow Kyogre. So that seems okay. They're just going to fire off a Water Spout here. That is going to pick up the KO on the Grimmsnarl. And it's going to do, honestly, okay damage to the Reshiram as well. And the rain is over just in time for Reshiram to come in and wreak havoc. Grassy terrain is also over. We get to bring back out Eliki here. So we know they have Ensign. We both still have our Dynamaxes. They know we have Eliki. And they have their own Eliki. Okay. I actually think we're in an okay position here. Because what we can do is we can fire off an Electro Web. And we can go for a big Max Quake into the Eliki. If they switch Eliki out, then the Ensign's going to take this Max Quake. And if they stay in, then they're going to lose their Eliki, pending that we hit the Electro Web. And the reason we're going for Electro Web is I have a feeling they also are going to try to just maintain our speed. So by us doing this, it means that our Eliki is going to stay on pace with theirs. And I think that's exactly what we want to do. They're going to Dynamax their, I'm assuming, Eliki here. Interestingly, our Eliki is modest, so if theirs is timid, they are actually faster than us, but that doesn't really matter here. Like, the fact that they're Dynamaxing an Eliki in the face of, like, Assault Vest Reshiram and our own Eliki is pretty good for us. Because this means if Eliki survives, if ours survives the Max Lightning, I'm assuming this is going to be Max Lightning. Yeah, they're going to protect the Kyogre. That's completely fine. Lightning into Reshiram. We take this like a champ because we have Assault Vest. So now our Electro is going to be boosted by Terrain. Their Life Orb. Okay. Of course, protect. And we connect on their Eliki. Just look how much that does. That's a resisted hit. And we just casually do like 20% to Dynamax Eliki. Yeah, Max Quake is going to be enough to pick up the KO on their Eliki. They're going to bring out Ensign here. We're going to go for a protect on the Eliki. We'll go for another Max Quake into the Ensign. And then from there, it should be pretty much a clean pickup here. Oh, they also had Tailwind, which is important to note. Alright, Ensign. Nice Intimidate, buddy. I don't know if I agree with them Dynamaxing the Eliki this game. I think had they Dynamaxed the Kyogre, it could have been a game. Or even like Dynamaxing the Ensign. I don't feel like Dynamaxing the Eliki was correct there. Like the fact that the only things they can be doing is firing off Max Lightnings means that like we just resist everything that they have going on. Fake out into the Eliki. Gonna protect against that. This Max Quake is gonna do quite a bit to this Ensign. As we see us picking up the KO, us going to +2 special defense. Origin Pulse gonna fire off. Should do pretty mediocre damage. You know, that's about what I expected. So we'll just do the hyper aggressive thing of click the super effective move here. Opponent concurs that this game is over, and we're gonna climb up a little bit higher onto the ladder thanks to this Reshiram team. Really impressive game there to start out the set. I'm definitely a fan of what we have going on so far. I would love to look at our opponent's team. Yep, Mystic Water. Pretty standard Kyogre. Koba, and yeah, pretty standard there. Sash. And nothing overly exciting. They do have Flare Blitz, which is something I don't normally see on Ensigns in Rain, but I'm a fan. Safety Goggles Ensign is something we talked about on the podcast this week, and I'm a huge advocate for Safety Goggles Ensign right now. I think it's very, very good. I'm a big fan of this set that they have going on. Yep, I'm a fan of this Ensign. Assault Vest Kartana. I've talked about this time and time again. Assault Vest Kartana just does not accomplish anything in my eyes. It just doesn't do nearly enough to justify it. It still just goes down to everything. Yeah, this is the exact same set we're playing with, but they have Thunder over Electro Ball, and they are jolly, or they're timid max speed. So yeah, definitely a what we anticipated there. So let's get on in to game number 2. See what we can do here. Alrighty. Let's see. And we're going against Kyogre again. This time they have Lando instead of Amoonguss. So they have double Intimidate, but honestly, I really don't care. I think our game plan is pretty much the same as we had last game. Try to trick the Kyogre and just body it. Just body the Kyogre, prevent it from ever accomplishing anything. Really interesting day here on the ladder so far. Getting to see basically the exact same thing again. Alrighty, opponent. What do we got? What do we got here? That's a interesting trainer card, to say the least. That's fine. Whatever. Tornadus Kyogre. Eliki Kyogre. That's also fine. Because we just put on a bunch of pressure here to start the game. Wonder if this is going to be a Dynamax Kyogre here from our opponent. I could see it. I could definitely see it. So we're just going to immediately trick into this Kyogre. Go for a fake out into the Eliki. See what our opponent does here. And we do get to burn their Dynamax here bright and early. And honestly, I'm fine with losing either of these Pokemon. They're going to Dynamax the Eliki. We get to see it again. I'm assuming this is going to just be Max Lightning to get rid of terrain. They're going to protect. Alright, Grimmsnarl, I need you to live this hit, buddy. Break a potential Sash. Look how much that does. Grimmsnarl, I need you to live this hit, buddy. Well, this game just got much harder. It's honestly fine. Like, we're in an okay position. Like, we can bring in our own Eliki here, and we can fire off Electro Webs to control speed. Like, now their Eliki doesn't really accomplish anything. And I think the play here is protect on the Rillaboom. If they're timid, they outspeed us. Gonna withdraw the Kyogre. Gonna bring out Lando. This is fine. This is mostly fine. This is okay. Kind of wish we had gone for the U-turn off of that slot now, but whatever. We're gonna see a Max Lightning into our Eliki. Holy cow, was that a crit? No? Well, in comes Reshiram, I guess. This game did not go nearly as smoothly as the last one. I guess we can go for a Wormwind into Lando. And just fire off a Grassy Glide into their Eliki. Like, we know it's not terrain boosted. It's not terrain boosted. It's not priority, but I'm gonna withdraw the Lando. I'm assuming back into Kyogre. Or is this Tornadus? Okay. This is fine. We're in an okay position. It's not great by any means. Losing Grimmsnarl there on turn 1 was really detrimental to what we have going on. I did not expect the Eliki Dynamax. But you know, it's okay. It just gets to show you the dynamic of these matches compared to, you know, like game 1 is not always how this match goes. Reshiram should take this. Oh yeah. Gonna put them down to Sash there. So I'm assuming this is Magnet on their Eliki then. Okay. We're in an okay position. All things considered, we're in an okay position. Because now we can regain control of the terrain. Which, honestly, does that really accomplish anything for us? Yeah, let's just pick up the double here, I think. They're going to set up Tailwind. That's completely fine. They're going to Thunder into my Rillaboom. We should take this. Yeah, it is a resisted hit, but Magnet boosted, Terrain boosted, Stab Transistor, Thunder is still, it just, you see how much damage Eliki can do. Alright, 1 KO down. 2 KOs. So now we're in a 2v2. The awkward positioning here, the awkward thing about this though is Rillaboom's at -2 and they still have a Kyogre and a Lando. Like, Lando is not anything to scoff at here. I wonder if we just see a double protect here. We haven't seen an item on the Lando. So I think our play this turn is to protect Rillaboom and go for a Wormwind into... I really want to get a Quake off, though. We also Max Flare to get rid of Weather. If this is Scarf Lando, they outspeed us, and therefore we need to go into the Kyogre. I think that's actually their plays. Like, as weird as that sounds, we can... If they're probably going to protect the Kyogre. Yep. So we're going to fire off a flare into that spot because that means that we gain control of the weather. So Lando is not protecting. Lando's just going to go for Rock Slide. And they missed the Reshiram, which is really good for us. So we gain control of the weather again. Does literally no damage to the Kyogre, but that's fine. Because now the Kyogre's damage output is null. It is null and void at this point. We literally did 0 damage to it this turn. So Rillaboom needs to crit this Kyogre. So a blue flare here. We'll go for a grassy glide here. Is that actually a crit? No, that's just -2. Well, this Origin Pulse isn't going to do anything. Did 30 damage to my Rillaboom. That one did a little more. Okay, their Life Orb. And Reshiram flinches. That's really unfortunate. I'm pretty sure that's game now. Had we not flinched there and fired off this blue flare, I think we could have won, but unfortunately, we had to play for Rock Slide Miss. That's our out here is Rock Slide Miss. I'm going to protect on the Rillaboom this turn because I anticipate them protecting the Kyogre again. And I want Rillaboom to be able to preserve itself. Yep, so then next turn, we can go for another Grassy Glide, pick up the KO on the Kyogre. Well, EQ means GG. Well, it is lower damage from the terrain, but nah. Reshiram is built for damage, not surviving hits. Well, I mean, actually, we're fairly bulky, but I don't see us pulling this one out. I forgot they had Tailwind up. Probably means Landorus still outsped us, but it's fine. It's fine. Really close game, all things considered, and just shows you just how close this matchup it really is. Rock Slide miss? Nope. GG's opponent. GG's. Really close game. Like, just look how much damage Rillaboom is doing at -2, you know? Really, really close game, all things considered. So, let's just jump right back in and see if we can end our day on a winning record here. This team's really impressed me so far. It definitely does a lot more damage with Reshiram and the Rillaboom and the Eliki to an extent too. Like, we just actually get to see a ton of damage being put out here. So, game number 3, Giratina Origin. Interesting. So it has Levitate. Really interesting here. And I don't think we can trick away their orb because it causes a change to their form. So I think what we want to do, I don't like Eliki in the face of Raichu. I like Moltres if they have Metagross. So what if we do Moltres and Amoonguss here with like Reshiram and Grimmsnarl in the late game? This seems okay. I don't hate it. So let's see what our opponent's doing. They're going to do Raichu Giratina up front. Honestly, that's pretty fine for us. I think our play right now is to protect the Moltres and just try to put this Giratina to sleep. Probably going to see a fake out the Amoonguss. So it might have been correct to just double protect this turn. They're just immediately going to Dynamax the Giratina. We know there's no shenanigans, no weakness policy, no life orb, nothing like that. This is just orb. We're just going to boost its ghost and dragon type moves. Fake out into the Amoonguss. Yep. So we could have pretty safely set up a nasty plot this turn, but I think it was actually correct to go for nasty plot there, because had we got the nasty plot off from there, like if we go nasty plot plus protect the Amoonguss, then Amoonguss takes literally no damage this turn, and we're in a very good position immediately. Because now what do we do? Like, we can Dynamax here, but does that accomplish anything? We can go into Reshiram, but does that accomplish anything? I think we're going to do both of those things. And we're going to see which one of these actually accomplishes something. It might have been correct to go for a max airstream this turn, just to try to match speed. But like I said, there's no weakness policy here or anything, so we can just reasonably attack into this Giratina. The origin form, I believe this is origin. Let me just make sure I'm calling this thing the correct thing. We're gonna see an Eerie Impulse. Yeah, we definitely should not have Dynamaxed here. Yeah, this is origin form. So, had we, I think the correct play here was the nasty plot this turn. Like, we're gonna drop their special defense, which is actually kind of okay, but in the face of Raichu here, like, I don't think it was correct to Dynamax. The more I look at this, I think the play this turn is to double into the Raichu and just get rid of it. Probably gonna see a Wormwind into the Reshiram this turn, which means it's probably actually correct to go into Grimmsnarl into that slot. Yep, should have seen this coming, because we're not gonna tank that. Yep, definitely misplayed this game from turn 2. Definitely misplayed this game. Should not have Dynamax Moltres. Should have switched out there. Like, we're at -4 on this Moltres now, and we just have not accomplished anything with it. So I think the play is we can bring in Grimmsnarl. And we can go for another Max Darkness into Raichu. What does fake tears do here? Actually, what if we max? No, I think firing off of max darkness is correct. Question is, what do they bring in, if anything? I think doubling into Giratina is probably correct this turn. They're probably just going to Eerie Impulse us again. They're going to Volt Switch off of the Grimmsnarl. I'm really hoping they don't bring in Zapdos here. They're going to bring in their own Grimmsnarl. That's completely fine by me. Yeah, this is really bad. That being said, physical Giratina means that we can set up a Reflect this turn. Yep, the fact that our Dynamax actually accomplished nothing and they took out our restricted with theirs is really backbreaking. So we're going to protect this turn instead of a Reflect. I don't want to switch Moltres out this turn in fear of them flying into that slot, because I want to be able to get Amoonguss back in safely. Okay. Now we're going to Spirit Break into our Grimmsnarl. This is completely fine, though. Because now we can go for a nasty plot. And we can Spirit Break their Giratina again. Shadow Force is interesting because we can't protect in front of it. This is kind of fine, I think. Because then this turn we can Rage Powder. I don't think we're in a winning position at all, actually. But like, we can Rage Powder and take the Shadow Force. But do we honestly care? Like, instead we can just Nasty Plot again. Actually, what if we just fire off a Fiery Wrath this turn? And go for a Spore into the Grimmsnarl. Like, behind Reflect, we should be able to take this regardless of who this goes into. If it goes into Moltres, there's a decent chance they put us into Berserk range, which then puts us back to -1. Which means that this Fiery Wrath will do a non-zero amount to this Giratina. Shadow Force into the Amoonguss. We take that fine. We do finally pick up the KO on the Giratina. That crit was pretty good there for us. And we get the flinch on the Amoonguss, and we get to put it to sleep. That's a good turn for us. Okay, well, we're not in a terrible position now. They're going to bring out Metagross. Luckily, we can just Nasty Plot again. I'm going to go for a Spore into it as well. If this is Lum, it's not great. But this will put us back to neutral. Alright, opponent, what do you got? Going for a Rock Slide. Okay. Don't flinch. Alright, well now we're at +1. And we flinched. That's unfortunate. Well, that's kind of fine, because now we can just fire off a big Fiery Wrath. And we can protect... No, we can... We need to protect. I was going to say we could Pollen Puff the Moltres to keep it alive, but this is a spread Fiery Wrath, And I don't think that's going to be enough to take out the Metagross, so I think we just need to protect this turn. Yeah, this game would have been very, very good for us had I not played like a complete idiot. Had I read the Eerie Impulse before I locked in, had we read the Wormwind before I locked in, not quite enough to pick up the KO on the Metagross. And we do trigger their policy. Yeah, this is unfortunately game. Had the Grimmsnarl stayed asleep this turn, we probably could have won. Miss. If they miss the Moltres, we're in this game. They don't. Okay. Well, this game just shows you that this team is very capable of winning games, even when you play like a complete idiot, simply put. So, yeah, you know, had I played this a little cleaner, we could have cleaned this up. And even me playing awful, we were still pretty much in that game. We just needed a little bit of RNG to go our way. So that is going to do it for today with Reshiram. You know, not the best record, but definitely very good games, all things considered. CLJ, I'm a CJL. There we go. Right? I can't ever remember. CJL. Yeah, I'm a big fan of what we're doing here. So, very excited to continue playing this later in the week. But that being said, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications when new stuff goes live. If you haven't already done so, we are very, very quickly approaching 200 subs, and I would love to hit that by the end of February if possible. So go ahead and leave a like on the video too if you've liked what you've seen. And like I said, comment down below, what is your favorite Gen 5 Pokemon? Personally, it has to be. How could it be anyone other than Whimsicott? It is... oh, it's so good, and its shiny is amazing. There are just so many things I could say about Whimsicott of why it is my favorite Gen 5, but that is a topic for another day. So, you all have a fantastic one. Peace.